They talking business. They talking business. It's raw and rare. Come on and get this. Three strong black women. No, they didn't. They talking business.
Welcome to the Shelly Bell Show. I am Shelly Omilade Bell here with my co-host Takia Ross.
Hey.
And Sherelle Duncan.
Yo.
All right, so I'm so excited about today. Well, actually, I'm not as excited about today's topic because so last week we talked about how customers be tripping. All right.
Yeah.
This week we are talking about continuing our theme of be tripping. So this week, who's tripping? Employees and contractors be tripping.
Oh my God.
All right. Now, hiring is actually one of the hardest things you would do as a business owner. Finding the right talent is super hard. And so, but the stats right now are saying that over half of the small business owners are finding that it is hard for them to find good talent right now. After the pandemic, just find people. People just ain't trying to go back to work.
No, ma'am, and no, sir.
They like with work.
Yeah,
we've been at home.
I quit.
I'm done.
Yes,
they've been getting them unemployment checks, the PPP things that they've been doing.
Oh, my God.
You just gonna do that?
They don't want to. No, it's the truth, girl. You know they've been out here.
Y'all been seeing even some famous folks got caught up in the PPP fraud.
Not gonna do it. I backed out.
But talent being hard to find.
Yeah.
All right. And so, okay. But why do y'all think people don't want to go back? Okay, wait. You know what? The article does not say that people don't want to go back to work.
Okay.
I made that up. I said that.
I didn't
It
think
doesn't say that.
That's all right.
I'm just saying by their behavior, it looked like they're saying to me. Looked like what it was trying to tell me is
they don't want to go back to work. They don't want to go back to work.
Right.
I think it's multifaceted. I do. Multi-layers.
Like, what do you mean?
She always does advocate.
No. I think that it is. I think it's not that people don't want to work. It's just that they recognize now how much they're worth.
Oh.
Okay. And so I'm not willing to go back to work and make minimum wage. I'm not, because I got a taste of what not living on minimum wage feels like. When people were out on unemployment and they were getting the additional money, as they should. Yeah. People got an understanding of what it felt like to not to have to struggle.
Yes.
They didn't have to live paycheck to paycheck anymore. So what makes me now want to go back to a situation where I'm going to be living paycheck to paycheck? And in reality, I know in Maryland, I think our minimum wage is like, they trying to get what,
15.85.
Yes. Come on now.
Yeah.
Come on now.
So, just a little bit of context around like contractors versus employees, because when you, as a small business owner, when you're hiring, you just be looking for people.
Yeah.
Look, can they talk, walk, be at a computer? Can they use Microsoft Word?
Yes.
Yeah.
File a paper.
Yeah.
Answer a phone.
Right. Can they drop some stuff out at the post office?
Yes.
Like, listen, you be trying to find as many people as you can find. So, however, okay, there are laws around some of this stuff.
Yeah. And
this is something I've had to learn at Black Girl Ventures, like really hardcore, because I had to lay a couple of people off during the pandemic. I'll get into that. So an employee is technically, let me go with the contractor. Things you cannot do to contractors technically. So you're supposed to hire them for their expertise, and then they actually get to do the job the way that they do it. You can't give them a lot of, or not supposed to, give them a lot of instruction. You can't require them to wear your uniform. You also can't require them to do certain like meetings and things that you would do for an employee. An employee, you can determine all of the rules. You can give them all of the guidelines, what they have to do, where they have to be, how they have to show up. You can deeply instruct them on how to do the work and how you want the work done. But as a contractor, that's not how it works. You're hiring them for their expertise, so you are a little bit more hands off from how they get the work done, technically, right? Now, there's so much gray area there because they still have to learn your core values. They still have to learn how you operate. They still have to learn those things. They're not exempt from, doing business the way you do it for you in a way. But you can't, there's also, there's different laws across different states. So one, I want to say this is not legal advice. Okay. You should absolutely contact a lawyer. You should absolutely do your research before you hire a contractor, freelancer, or an employee. because you're not paying payroll tax when you have a bunch of contractors. And so the laws are the way that they are so that people won't try to get around paying payroll tax and then overworking people versus like actually hiring an employee. So if you fire a contractor, you can pretty much just fire them. When you fire an employee, you have to there's steps you have to take. Like you want to be tracking their performance. You want to be clear on how performance is tracked. You also have to document a lot. They can get unemployment. Contractors can't get unemployment.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, no, contractors can't get unemployment from you. Wow. That's not how that works. Well, and then there could be some ways that they could, depending, like if you're a staffing agency, then technically they're employed by you, even though they're temp at another job. So they might be temp at a Google, but they work for you. So therefore, you could potentially get unemployment that way, but not from Google. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because you would be a contractor, a temp for Google kind of thing. Yeah. So it's a couple laws. I mean, we've had to like fire people. I fired people for performance, but I still had to give them like a reasonable pay to end their contract, like to end their employment.
So you had to up the pay before they were gone?
No. Oh. In order to fire them, I had to offer them almost
like a severance
package. Like a severance package or like a separation package. And sometimes you want to do that because you want to make sure they sign certain things. Like, you're leaving, but you cannot talk about what has happened here. You cannot talk about why you have left. And sometimes they, want that back from you. Like one of my employees, my first employee, in fact, separate from her was, hey, well, I want you to sign saying that you won't say anything negative about me.
Wow.
And I have to agree to that. If I want her to, depending on whether us trying to make sure that we are amicably separating from employees.
What she just said.
Amicably.
She said that the girl made her sign.
Well, it gives you something to think about. Yeah. Like, as a business who hasn't hired to that level, like it makes you think like, I never thought about that, And
you got to have your contracts in order because the offer letter can serve as a actual legally binding document. So one woman, she didn't have like a employee contract, but because we had sent her the offer letter that had certain terms in it, like, we expect for you to commit to employment for a year. We're going to offer this salary. Our lawyer was like, because she could technically take this to court and say, here were my expectations because they are there and written out. And you didn't necessarily give her like a probation. Like it doesn't say that. It didn't say probation. It didn't say, certain stipulations around me letting her go. She could actually say that we owe her unemployment or we owe her more money or some extra months of pay because of that.
It's wild out here.
Yeah.
The wild, wild west.
Wait, you know what? So we gonna get into it next around like how employees and contractors be tripping. Oh my God. I think, one of the things is like when you hear people say, well, on my job, I just felt like, I didn't feel heard because I was black or a woman. Let me tell you something. I've heard so many people say that, and then we hired them, and they didn't do the work. I'm like, no, you got fired because you wasn't working.
Accountability is a hard thing.
You didn't get fired because you were black.
You're acting like trash.
You actually are not doing the work.
My God.
We're going to get into that. Doing the work, not doing the work, and how employees and contractors be tripping. Okay?
Out here falling down.
You are listening to the Shelly Bell Show. We'll be right back. Welcome back to the Shelly Bell Show. I am Shelly Omilade Bell, Takia Ross, Sherelle Duncan. We up in here hosting. Acting up always. I'm the good one, actually.
Oh my God.
No, seriously, I need you to stop doing that. We are not going to subscribe to that narrative because I'm sick of that.
My shoulders stop.
No, for real. You was shimmying.
I was shimmying.
She said it, and then you just.
No.
We really
y'all
are sick
always
of
be
it.
on the same couch.
No, it doesn't matter. That don't mean nothing. Because the kid won't be with me. She won't ride with me, but you'll ride with me.
I will ride with you.
See, did she
I'm down.
Wait a minute.
I'm down for all the shenanigans. We can twerk. We can do whatever. We can drop it like a lot. I'm with it.
They be twerking all the time.
I'm with it.
I just fall in the water. They know what I'm talking about. I just fall
in the water. That's so funny. Speaking of people acting up, all right, we're gonna jump back into this topic of employees and contractors be tripping.
Here we go.
All right. And so if you're out there, you have a different kind of business model. Like for Black Girl Ventures, we may have to hire people as contractors or employees to do different kinds of work. But there's some models that actually rely on contractors fairly heavily or freelancers in some instances. And I know that Sherelle and Takia, your business models work that way.
Yeah.
But Takia, what have you experienced when hiring or running into these contractors that be tripping?
What? Okay. All right. So I'm a makeup artist. You know, I run a makeup artistry business, Accessmatize. And about 3 years ago, we realized that I realized that I had outgrown my capacity to accept clients. So I thought the best way to maximize my capacity was to bring on additional freelancers to work as makeup artists. So I brought them on as contractors to my team. You know, I trained them, you know, provided them equipment. I, you know, assisted. And listen, pineapples for any of the lawyers and all of the people out there listening. I might not have did it right, but I'm just trying to tell you what I did. Okay. So, you know, I brought them on board, you know, had them sign, you know, non-disclosures. You know, you're 10 you filling out. I thought I was doing right. I was doing all the things. Okay. So I brought them on. I trained them. I helped them build their kits. You know, I put them on my website so that they could accept appointments, you know, as their schedule permitted. And they were with me for about 2 years and they were absolutely amazing. Like, I love them. And I think that's one of the challenges with being small is that I love them like family. Like they were, you know, I relied on them. They became like they were younger than me. So they became almost like my children. Like, you know, I fed them, you know, everything. And so when they decided to leave, I was devastated. Like my feelings were so hurt. Like it wasn't like, oh, an employee decided, you know, to go. It was like my child just walked out. My husband just left. Like it was devastating because a lot of time, I know for me, that meant that the clients that they had scheduled, somebody had to take them, right? And that somebody was me. You know, that meant that all of the training that I had put into, everything that I had invested, it felt like it was walking out of the door, like everything. And I just wanted to know why. Like, it's almost like I had to go to therapy. Like, I was like, why did you leave me? Right. Like, don't go. And it was because this was my first rodeo into hiring or having someone as close to me. And I will tell you, I have never hired again in that capacity. Like, because I'm still heartbroken about it. And I wish them well. They are amazing. But you know, I know that other artists, it's like and I'm gonna be very transparent. You feel like you gave them all that you had, gave them all your secrets. You told them, and then they left, and so that they can do it on their own. If that makes sense. Like they left, you know, and I'm like, we could grow this together. And they like, no, I'm trying to grow this. I'm trying to rock out. Together, like, Lord. You know, you feel like, well, they wanted to, and they may not have felt like this, but I'm just saying this is how you feel. Like, so they wanted to make all the money. Like they want, you know, because they only get a percentage of how much they make. So they like, listen, if I'm only getting a percentage, if I go out here and do it by myself, I can get all the money. And you looking like that's not how it works. Like you still won't get all the money because now you have all the overhead too. So that was my experience. And it was that, like I said, I still have not hired in that capacity because I was devastated by that. Traumatized. Yeah, it was horrible. Nobody prepares you for that.
That's right.
Nobody prepares you for that. And they keep telling you gotta hire. Right. Like every time I went to a funder, you know what I mean? Anybody, they was like, well, how many people are on your team? And how many people do you, and you just looking, so you hire and then you like, they don't talk about how you keep them or, you know, or when they decide to leave. Because some of it is not even about firing. It's about when they decide to go.
Yeah, I definitely experienced it. I think, So that was so good. There's so much there too, because I think that people also don't talk through like other ways of hiring. Mm-hmm. So if you didn't hire them as a full-time employee, you could hire them as a part-time employee, non-exempt, which means that they only get paid hourly. And so then you're not responsible for, if you at the point where you're small, you don't have to pay for healthcare and those kinds of things. And it's not a way to get out of paying for healthcare, but it's like a business may not be ready for that yet. I didn't learn about people being non-exempt until actually running BGV this big. I went from all volunteers to scrapping the entire team and saying, y'all are not going to take me where I want to go. You think it's too small. I love y'all. You're great people, but not for where I'm trying to go. Yeah. From there, I hired an assistant. So I stripped all my operations down to one, just doing the pitch competition only. No classes, no nothing. Then I just had an assistant. And then from there, I got my first like full-time employee when we got our first big grant. From there, from 2020 till now, we went from me and one other person and then like an accountant to 9 people full-time. And no, I'm sorry. Now we have 12 employees and 9 contractors.
Wow.
Yeah.
So going from like a small like team or just me and somebody else to where we are now, oh my God. The level of personalities, the level of training, the level of do you have everything written out? Like, are you writing out everything you do, all your procedures? Like, it has been a journey.
Yeah. I think for me, it's the trust in it. Like, can I trust you to do what you say you're going to do and what is expected of you? Like, for me, I know with fitness is, I mean, I love it so much, but it gets real brutal out here. It is brutal out in these streets. Not for me, because I don't do it like everybody else. Like what I do, how the Good Thick model is made, no one has that model. And if they do, it's not like the Good Thick at all, right? And so for me, the people that I have on my team, shout out to my beautiful trainers. I love them so much. I love y'all so much. I know y'all listening because y'all so supportive, but they all were my clients first. Like every last one of them, with the exception of my sisters. They were all my clients first. And honestly, I wasn't looking for a team. I knew that I did not want to be a trainer for the rest of my career. I knew I had to build a team. I never knew what that looked like. I was honestly scared like a lot about what that looked like, about having a team and how can I afford a team. I don't even know if I'm making enough money to pay these people. So, you know, when COVID happened, my husband and I got COVID, the baby got COVID. I just had the baby. So it was really, really bad. My clients stepped up and started not teaching, but using the supplemental that I provide for clients. And just started like just coaching them. Like, okay, this is how you do. But these were the ones that I had been watching from the beginning though. I'm like, these girls are strong. They got it. Like, and I'm thinking to myself, one of them reminded me so much of myself. And I'm like, she's going to be a trainer. I just knew it, right? So they stepped in. When they stepped in, they did a great job. So from there, I was like, you know what? Y'all could take a day. Y'all could take a day out of the week, right? So we tried that. We did that. And then, I started thinking like, you know what? I need to put some paperwork in place because how does this look? You know what I mean? How is this working? And so we formed a group chat and I'm like, okay, so I need everybody to tell me what you want out of this. Like, I know everybody doesn't want to be a trainer, but y'all are killing it as trainers. So what we doing, right? So everybody's like, well, I have this idea. And I'm like, bet. Everybody is getting certified because I can't have anybody out in the street saying, oh, Sherelle, she out here claiming she got all these trainers, because you know how people do, just petty. So all of my trainers got certified. And so my model is with the Good Thick, you cannot mimic any of this program and make it your own. Like, you cannot take this program verbatim. You cannot stand in front of somebody or stand up and say, I have a program that is catering to the specific demographic that I cater to, and also do exactly the same things. It's in the NDA. Like, it's just, it's like respect. You know what I mean? Like, it's find your niche. Basically. Yeah, non-compete. Yeah. Find your niche and do that. But don't copy off my niche and say, all right, well, now I'm gonna make it my own. Like, that right there, and I've had to let people go because of those things, right? And that's hard. Like to kids, and our situation is different, but our feelings are still the same in it. With them, just me having to say, I see what you're doing, and this isn't right. So I gotta let you go. You know what I mean? And that right there, it now is like, how do I trust again? Now my trust is back down again. So now I got to find somebody else. But what is this person's motives and intentions? Even if their motives and intentions is not to compete with me, but the actions say something totally different. And we've talked about this.
Yeah. Okay. So this makes me curious around, so are we developing models that have such a secret sauce that, like, even if you were to try to do it, you're not going to do it? So I don't even need to be worried about whether or not, or I don't even need to hold to the trust issue, because even if you do it, whatever, do it, but it's not going to affect me in any way. Like, what would you say to people who might, and I'm not saying anybody's saying this, I'm just sharing, like, would say, like, well, if you believe so strongly in the model, then what does it matter if they come and leave?
Oh, thank you for that question. I love that. That's a challenging question. I think for me, I know it's nobody out here like me. And it's nobody that's gonna do it like I do.
Period.
That's just period. And I feel like everybody should feel like that about themselves. That's not just me out here flexing, but I know there is not one soul working this earth. Is it a flex?
Yeah,
okay, well, get that flex. Get that flex.
Show me your shoulder.
Yeah.
I know that there's nobody out there like me that can do it. I think for me, it was the respect piece. The respect and the relationship that we develop. You know that this is wrong. You know what I mean? So it's not even about me being afraid, because at this point, I don't even see you anymore. Right? Like, I don't. Like, and I know that's just how I go about it. I don't even see you anymore. I wish you well, but I don't rock with this. You know what I mean? Like, for me, it's a sign of disrespect. And disrespect for me is really like a no-go for me.
I think too, like, when you say things like that, for me, it wasn't that. It was more my feelings were hurt, because in reality, most employers recognize that they're going to have employees that leave.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That is just the nature of being an employer, and how many of us, like, how many times have we gotten into a job, learned all that we can learn, right? Yeah. And then decided, and now I'm going to take all of this knowledge and I'm going to go somewhere else, or I'm going to do something else. And so I can remember really telling the young ladies that work with me, who are, phenomenal, I don't want you to be like me. I want you to be better than I ever was. Yeah. You know what I mean? I just didn't think that they was going to take it and go. You know what I mean? You understand what I'm saying? Right, like, I thought they were going to be better, and we were going to be better together, and we was going to grow. And I think it was my own personal thoughts around, like, I had built a plan in my head about what was going to happen, and they did not ascribe to that plan. Yeah. They didn't sign on to that, and so part of me is, with an understanding, having a background in human resources, you recognize that people are going to leave.
Right.
You're going to hire people. They're not going to stay. You're going to hire people. They're not going to work out. You're going to hire bad people. You're going to do that. But I think when we think about growing businesses, because I don't want to say we're small, we're growing businesses. When you think about us, we do not have the capacity to be able to deal with that level of turnover.
We don't.
Like, so I think it's more of that. Like, it's just, and most of the time we're bringing you on because we see something in you. Like, and like, you spoke to something that I was, or that I want to be, or that I'm trying to get to, or, you know what I mean? Like, I can help you and you can help me. And a lot of employers, especially the bigger ones, they not looking at that. They don't give a good, they don't give a damn. You know what I mean? They are like, how can you ring this cash register? You can do that. You can count some money. That's all. I don't need to know all the rest of that stuff.
Right.
But what we're trying to do is build a community, a family, a tribe. And really, especially for Black people, that is in our DNA, that is ingrained in us, because we're building a family. Everything we do is about familial unit.
Yes.
And so it makes sense that as we build these businesses, we're looking for a family. Yeah. We looking for our tribe. Like, we like, come on, y'all, we can do it. And then when a tribe member jump ship, you're like, now what happened to that?
Yeah.
That shit is so hurtful and emotional. I'm like, honestly, that and then, you know, I hate when people say, don't take it personal. How do you not take this personal? Like, this is my business, and this happened in my business, and now I have to figure this shit out. I have to figure it out. And not only do I have to figure it out as far as my business, I have to figure out this personal relationship now. Like, what am I going to do with this personal relationship? So now I got all of this stuff. You know what I mean? Now I got to tiptoe around. Like, that is a lot. That is a lot of emotions. I think that it's very, very difficult to deal with. It's very, I mean, some people don't feel like it's difficult. They just move right on. I have a hard time with it.
I think for me, I have felt like it's difficult, but the time frame that it is difficult has gotten shorter.
Yeah.
So I think like it was before, I'd be like, oh my God, you trying to leave now? Oh Lord, I got it. You know, now I'm scrambling for 3-4 months trying to figure out how I'm going to fill your role, take over whatever you left. But now it's gotten to a point where, like, you know, within 15 to 20 days, I'm like, okay, you got to go.
Yeah.
All right, we got to go. And I think I got better at who to hire, because you know what, to what you were saying, Takia, around seeing things in people.
Yeah.
I think I also had to get to a point where I understood who I am and how I see people.
Yeah.
I'm always looking for the best part of people.
Yes, and
I'm
pulling
always
the greatness out.
That's right. And you know, intuitively, if you want to get woo-woo about it, when I see you for where you're gonna be, but you can only see you for where you are.
And that scares the shit out of people.
It does.
It scares them. They not ready for that. They not ready for that. It's
But
too big.
we also have to be ready for where they're going.
Yeah.
We may not be
going
going with them.
That's right.
You know what I mean? And so
That's
my
right.
thing is and that's where you got to separate the two. Like, you know, if you can see so much power and beauty and like in a person, that also means that person you may not take them on the next leg of their journey. Like, you were there for that time, for that purpose, to show them,
to get them started.
Yes. And then you got to let them go. And I think it's hard for us, like it is with any people that we love or cherish, you know, in a relationship that we built, because we don't know how to be both. Yeah. Like, I don't know how to be your friend now that you left me and you doing the same thing that I'm doing.
Weird
like, I don't know. This
that ain't, if you, first of all, it's how you separate.
Yeah.
Because if you didn't come to me, if you couldn't just say, hey, girl, look, this has been amazing. I'm about to roll. How can I don't know if that's a friendship. Like, what does it mean for you to be a friend to me? Like, you could talk to me if you're a friend to me. You don't got to ghost me and then wait 3 months for us to finally link up in person and be like, oh, girl, I missed you too. I missed you too. Yeah. Like, let's just talk about it. You know what I'm saying? Just tell me up front, like, hey, I'm leaving.
But that's the thing. Like, in reality, they are not your friends. They're your employees.
I'm not hiring no more friends.
Yeah, they're your employees.
These last...
It's so hard. That's what I'm talking about. Trust. That trust, because you're going to lose a friend. You're going to lose a friend. I'm telling you, it's going to be...
I'm not hiring
I'm not just being on the negative part about it, but the track record shows that it doesn't always end well.
Oh, they didn't trip over itself.
No, it don't. They be here's where they be tripping. Sometimes the friends more than a regular employee or contractor. Because now, honey, they done helped you build a company.
Yeah.
Oh,
what you gonna do without me?
Wait, what?
What you gonna do without me?
I'm gonna wake up tomorrow and train these people. You know what I mean? I'm gonna go find somebody else. What do you mean? Like, I be like, wait a minute, you don't gotta do all that.
My God.
What?
Yeah, they built the company.
I had this company 2 years before I met you, Slim. I be getting listen.
Not Slim.
Don't get me started
they
on
are
that.
tripping out here.
Damn.
Tripping. Okay.
So like my shoe.
Like that shoe.
Like that shoe.
In the next segment, we're gonna give you some do's and don'ts for hiring contractors. So I heard Sherelle say a few things about agreements and that kind of thing. Like, we'll jump into some of that in the next segment. You'll listen to the Shelly Bell Show. We'll be right back. To the Shelly Bell Show. I am Shelly Omilade Bell here with Takia Ross and Sherelle Duncan.
Ooh, we're back in this thing like a bucket of chicken wings. Fried chicken. Hot, fresh chicken. Let's eat some chicken. Don't be. I need chicken.
But I don't eat chicken, so
I'm newly not eating chicken.
Well, they don't have nothing.
why was that such like a geeky? I'm happy about newly not eating chicken.
I'm so happy about it because I've been doing this
Hi,
thing for
my name is Sherelle, and I'm so excited to announce that I'm no longer eating chicken. Newly.
Well, guess what? I'm not
That's
hilarious. Up no chicken. I don't care what's happening out in the world. Fried chicken, hot, fresh, out the grease, new. Burn the top of your mouth.
You know
chicken.
what? I can't fool with y'all. All right, so back on this topic of employees and contractors be tripping. All right, we're the do's and don'ts moment of the show, and so we're gonna try to pull some do's and don'ts.
Okay.
Out of here. With Takia admits she has a whole human resource background. Sherelle, did you know that?
No, we learn stuff about her every show.
Every show.
This is a hot mess. Okay, first of all, yes, I did. I worked for the University of Maryland Medical System in human resources for 5 years, and it was a
doozy.
It was a. That's what I'm gonna do.
Doozy
It was
it's a bad word. It's a beep.
No, I mean, you just learned a lot, and about human resources, about hiring and firing, especially in a large organization like that. Like that's human resources on steroids. You know what I mean? Because they have, HR generalists. Like it's a different beast. It's not like small business hiring.
So in the larger organizations, they have the infrastructure that is like layers of of hiring and like layers of HR people.
Yes. Right.
Oh, okay. Because that's so interesting you should say that, because I think even hiring the HR consultants that we hire, we work with a company called Helios, and they work with small businesses. But I actually thought like a recruiter and like a HR person and like a tax person. I thought these were all the same people when it came to HR things or payroll.
They are not. Like it's a whole different level. Like the person that you talk to that does your paperwork in human resources is not the same person that passes your resume along to the hiring manager, which is not the right, like it's like levels to hiring. And so when you have to be all of those people, like, we talk about it all the time being, owner, and now you're all the people. So you're your entire human resources team. Like you got to know all of the paperwork. You got to know all the laws. You got to know, all of your SOPs, your trainings, like all of that is you. And so no wonder we're overwhelmed by it. Like, it's overwhelming.
Yeah. SOP stands for Standard Operating Procedures.
Yeah.
No, I think that's so dope. So speaking of human resources though, with Kiki Thunder, she has a really entertaining way of like pulling out all the things that a small business owner has to be, where she has created these different personalities for who's running a company. Look at the Shelly Bell Show Instagram, because we're going to be putting a video of two of her employees
just acting up,
freaking
out. The drama queen and goody two shoes. They don't have no act right.
I love it.
They were scared of thug life.
They were so scared of thug life.
They so scared of thug life.
I cannot wait till the people get to meet them.
Yes, they so scared of thug life. I'm scared of it too, though.
Yeah, so you can meet them on the Shelly Bell Show Instagram. So it's at the Shelly Bell Show. So in hiring, we hire different kinds of people. So we talked about contractors, talked a little bit about employees, but then there's also like freelancers. So there's TaskRabbit, Upwork, Fiverr. Have y'all used any of those? What's your experiences like?
I've actually used TaskRabbit and Fiverr. I've used Fiverr quite a bit, especially in the beginning of the Good Thick. I used it a lot. It was cool. It's quick. That's one thing I love about Fiverr. It's really quick. So then when you go to an actual person that you like are just emailing outside of Fiverr, and they say they turn around is 5 to 7 business days, you're like, well, girl, why? I just had somebody give me something to me in 2 hours.
Yeah,
a whole logo, a whole website built in 30 seconds. And you take 5 to 7.
Yeah.
Like, no, but honestly, Fiverr is very convenient. TaskRabbit, I had someone come out and build a tent for the expo. And it was they were on time. They were like really good with how's it going? Is it down? Is the tent sturdy? And the weather, like everything. So those apps are really good. For me, my experience
It's
is
so
really
funny
good.
that you should say that though about the Fiverr thing, because I'd be like, can I just pay you $20 extra? Yes,
it's $5 for all of this, and you just got this to me in 30 seconds.
When somebody be like, "Oh, it's gonna take me 10 days," I'm like, "It don't take 10 days to make a logo.
It don't take 10 days
because on Fiverr."
But you know what? That's one of the issues. That's one of the challenges. It's because not only are we going to the Fivers and the Task Rabbits and all of that, but then too, I don't know how many of you have dealt with this, but you know how long it takes.
Yeah.
Because you've done it. You know, so it's just like, girl, I'm paying for somebody else stuff. You charging me extra time.
Let me tell y'all, oh my God. My employees get that all the time. Cause I've done every role in this company. So you can't tell me that y'all still got stuff on this Instagram timeline that ain't got over 100 likes.
Okay. Here go the 100 likes. The 100 likes.
If it ain't got over 100 likes, take it off the timeline, Lord. Why? Okay.
I
be like, look, I've done this before.
Yes.
I made a social media for myself and other people. So I will say, don't do that, y'all. Don't do that to your employees and contractors because you want their expertise at the table. So don't do the like, well, I've done it before. So why is it taking you this amount of time to do? You need to get this done quickly. Sometimes people don't process that way. And if you can trust that the person will give you a really great product, then you got to also trust in the person that you hired or decided to pay to do it.
Let them do their thing.
So I got a question. Have you ever shared an employee with somebody? I shared an employee once. Like we had an employee that, is a contractor, but I paid for 20 hours and another business owner paid for another 20 hours and we shared the expense of it.
Wow.
You know, I was just wondering if anybody else
I've never even thought of that before.
I have thought of it, but the person I was thinking about sharing was Anna.
Oh, you ain't sharing Anna with nobody.
So Anna is my chief of everything.
Chief of everything.
Bell.
She's your parfait.
Yes.
She's your parfait
for what is it?
For almost everything.
Point of contact for almost everything, Lord. And I was like, you know what? That'd be great. You know, if we could, because maybe people in our network could use some help. And I was like, nah.
You don't play about Anna. I just got goosebumps because you do not play about Anna.
Don't mess around with Anna, okay? She gets it done. She gets it done like I need to get done. But speaking of Upwork, though, so I met, on our team, I met Isabella on Upwork. So I was looking on Upwork to find somebody to help me when I fired everybody. And I only had me and an assistant, and I needed some other stuff done. So actually, Isabella's been working with me now since like 2018 because I had her come on to do like help with the pitch competition coordinating. I found her on Upwork.
Wow.
Now she's very young. You know, she lives in Venezuela, and we just have worked through this time like really with her as a freelancer. But it's been amazing. But that's how I met Anna, and then through Anna, and Anna's now in Spain. And then we met AG, who is in she's another Anna. Anna, we call her AG because it's two Annas. But she lives I think she lives either in Venezuela or Brazil, one of them. But I found them through each other, just being like, but when I was like, Isabella, you know anybody that can help with some other stuff? She's like, yeah, I know just the person. I said, look now.
She put a finger
Don't
up.
bring me no bull. You know what I mean? Don't bring me nobody that can't get it done because she know how I am. She's like, no. She's going to be good. She's going to be good. And then she brought me Anna. So one of the things I also want to talk about is how do you know when it's the right person? Because like when Anna started working for us, literally in like 2 days, she was showing value. Like things I didn't have to think about anymore.
Yeah, I think for me it's like freedom. The freedom to not to let this thing go and trust that it'll get done. And so now my time is free from this particular thing. So for me, knowing if I have the right person is my freedom in that area that they're working in, that position or that service that they're providing. So for me, it's definitely the freedom because I have my business really runs on autopilot. The good thing runs on autopilot with Happy. Like Happy is amazing. Like I am shout out to Hap because
Where'd you get Pac Faye from? I really like that.
So she called herself something else. I think she was like the point of contact, right? And she was like, I'm Happy, I'm Sherelle's point of contact. And I said for almost everything. And then I said, you know what? you're my parfait. You're the point of contact for almost everything.
I love that.
It just stuck. And so now when I introduce her to people, I don't say this is my assistant. I just say this is my parfait. This is my point of contact for almost everything. Because assistant for me, it just felt like, at that point I was like, I'm not paying her like that. You know what I mean? I felt some type of way. So parfait just worked. And so she's parfait.
So get you a parfait.
Get you a parfait.
I'm working on it, guys.
Yes, we're going to work on getting you a parfait.
Come on now.
I'm just loose and I can't get tight.
We need to get it. We're going to get you some people.
I'm about to cry.
I know.
Don't do it.
It's okay.
I be needing extra people.
You're going to get them.
We're going to get you some people.
We're going to get you some people.
I need 4 hands and a leg.
Okay, makeup artists. Y'all.
One leg.
I might help you with the leg.
Yeah.
What you need?
The hands
I need 4 hands.
4 hands
and 1 leg.
Y'all heard it first that accessamatize.
Yes.
Needs staff. Good staff.
We need some good
now
people.
we know y'all out there don't want to work because we see the stats that say
we only see that you don't want to work.
We see the stats that say y'all ain't applying for them jobs out there. You know what I'm saying? But if you out there and you would like to get hired,
accessamatize.
She's DM us at the Shelly Bell Show on IG.
Yeah, it's just hard. I think it's just
we working on it.
Yeah, it's just hard. Yeah. And I think too, you got to get out of your own way about what you can afford.
Yeah.
Like you know
that the other day.
Yeah,
too.
you got to get up because it's like, can I? That's the question that always, can I afford it? Yeah. Can I afford it? Well, if I can afford it today, can I keep affording it?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, okay, I can afford it right now. I got you for 3 months, but after these 3 months, I don't know. You know, so I think it's about just retraining your thought process around. I
had to have a really open and honest conversation with Hap about what I can afford and what I can't afford. Like, if registration is low, like, especially in the beginning when she started, like, if registration is low, I don't know if I can keep this amount up. You know what I mean? How do you feel about that? How can we work it out in different ways and things like that? And so with that, it's like, all right, well, I'll train with the trainers. You know what I mean? I'll take the classes. And so it's different ways that I say, all right, well, like, I've had to say, well, I can't afford to pay you this amount. You know what I mean? And then I can get you merch. I can do all of these, just coming up with things to show her that I still appreciate you and I still need you here, but I just don't have the.
But do you think that that's part of the challenge though? Like, why finding good people? You know what I mean? Especially
because a lot of people just want the money.
They want to get paid. Like, is it that?
I don't know. So Anika Hobbs, she's the CEO of Nubian Human. They have a store in Baltimore.
Yes,
and they have a store in Anacostia Art Center. And she also gave me that advice when I was worried about hiring. She's like, look, have honest conversations with the people you're bringing on and find people that want to ride with you.
Yeah.
Right? I've had 3 people who came on at first and just volunteered for a year straight up and worked like employees. Not like they volunteered because it was like I was up front that I needed a volunteer. I was like, hey, I'm looking for a volunteer to fill this description, but I promise you, if you rock with me, I got you. Like, as soon as I get some money, you're gonna be the first people that I'm about to pay. And I think, but that is not that it's easy to find those people, but they are out there.
They are.
Especially people who work part-time but are not feeling fulfilled in their day jobs. They're like, I can do my day job in my sleep. I'd rather be fulfilled here. Like, the people feeling fulfilled is a value add for the contract or employee role that they're taking. People, honestly, there's a book called Drive by Daniel Pink. He's actually local to the DC area. And it talks about how people are not actually motivated by money at all. I mean, it's a factor. Of course, everybody wants to live, fairly and things like that. But people are more motivated by intrinsic value.
And I think we all have fun companies to work for. You know what I mean? It's work, but it's fun, and you have a sense of freedom in the companies. You have a sense of freedom in BGV and Accessamatize and the Good Thick. You know what I mean? You just show up when you're supposed to show up, and you do your job. And also, I think that we're dope women to work for. You know what I mean? And so that makes it easy. Like, I truly believe that there are people out there. I mean,
Yeah.
I have people like that, like on my team. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And they are amazing. My team is amazing. And I, like I said, the open and honest conversations about the finances, and if they're willing to even adhere to it. If they not trying to hear it, then those are not the people that, you know what I'm saying, that can be there for you in that season where your company is. But if they're willing to hear you out, ride for you, all right, I got you. Because I know for me, when I told everybody, even my sisters, because my sisters work for me, and my sisters work really, really hard. And I know we gotta go, but one of my sisters, she works 18 hours a day, and she's been working that hard forever, and she barely sees my niece. You know what I'm saying? And I told them, I said, one of my goals is to make sure that I can pay all of y'all salary, and y'all don't have to do anything else, especially
18 hours at her other job, not with you.
no, yeah, at her other job. And she gets up at 5 a.m. to do 5 a.m. And that, it breaks my heart that my sisters don't get to spend the time that they need with their families because they're out working all the time. You know what I mean? And so honestly, I even told Black, one of my biggest goals is to hire them with a salary. You know what I mean? So that they have freedom, and all they have to do is log on at 5 a.m. to do what they want to do. So, you know, it's people out there that'll hear you.
I think that also speaks to our motivations as small business owners in hiring.
Yeah.
And, statistics show that when a minority-owned business starts and gets to a point where they can't hire, the first people they hire are other minorities. And so this is why funding, small businesses, Black-owned businesses is such a huge part of economic development, because where people would maybe not get hired by some of the bigger companies for whatever reason,
Right.
because they're not willing to be as patient, they're not willing to train as deeply, they're not really willing to care as hard, they just don't have to, right? And so but we care about our communities. We care about the people around us. We care that we get to a point where we could pay your salary such that not only is it helpful for you, but it's helpful for me, because if I'm paying you, then I'm thriving.
Yeah.
Right. And so I think that, and then when I can pay you, then I can thrive.
Yeah.
That too. It's almost like a chicken or the egg situation sometimes. So as small business owners, it's hard to navigate to figure out which part. So do find you a POC.
Yes.
Do keep believing, because I think really what's coming out of this is like, it is hard to hire for everyone, by the way. Clearly the stats are showing us that people ain't even applying for these jobs at a bigger company.
No.
In fact, they're more likely to probably work for one of us than to go work for one of the bigger folks. So do believe that there are good people out there. Do keep looking. Do address your fears head on around because you're so right about the money.
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm still like that, and we got a decent amount of money, and I'm still like, oh nah, what y'all doing? We buying water?
Yeah.
Where's that? Whose check is that? What are we doing?
Y'all couldn't get out the tap?
Yeah.
I mean, really? Come on now.
We didn't.
It's water
didn't
everywhere.
I
We're in America.
didn't I buy the bottles? I bought the refillable ones.
What's going on?
Fill it up before you get here.
Listen, get a smart straw.
Yes.
The smart straws filter the water. You figure it out, okay? We're not doing this because y'all not budget conscious. I'd be like, don't get me
She
started.
don't play about the itemized
You
lines.
blinked 4
something.
times. That was too many blinks.
Let me say,
Blink. Look at that. Blink. 4.
Did that cost me?
Yes.
Did I have to pay for that time?
Yes.
You blink? Oh, nah, Slim. This is a wrap. Okay,
Yeah.
you better sign
I
off.
just told these people we're good to work for, and you
We
you gonna
messed
do this, and you gonna do
messed
this.
it up.
Excellence. It's excellence.
yeah.
What I'm really doing, okay, is promoting excellence. All right.
Yeah.
That is what I'm really doing. I'm really promoting.
I think too, we need to tell them to please don't forget to do your SOPs.
Yes.
Those standard operating procedures. Because a lot of times we don't hire because we don't even know what to tell them to do. Because it's in our head, and now you got this person, and you don't know how to get it out of your head. So get it out of your head first.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
Speaking of growth, today's Black Girl Ventures highlight is Ihime Egbe. She is the founder of Sweet Kiwi. And it is a frozen yogurt company that is amazing. She built the company because she was finding that she had to change her diet because of some health reasons, and then found out that even going into the store to pick up some things, that it was not as healthy as it appeared to be. So she decided that she would create her own frozen yogurt. She just started doing it for friends at work. And then they started asking her to bring it every time. She's like, hold up, y'all got to pay for this.
Yes.
We're not doing that. But what she did, which I think is smart and is actually a do for people out there, she didn't initially just jump and start her business, she quit her job and went to work for a restaurant.
Wow.
Because she said, y'all think I'm in here trying to work hard for this restaurant. She's like, I'm in here trying to learn
Gain knowledge.
how you run a food business.
Wow.
And so she took that time to learn that. And she started out going into stores with Whole Foods. And then through us working some relationships that we have with Black Girl Ventures, she will be launching in 250 to 500 Walmarts come spring. Yes. And she's just an amazing founder. If you are in the DC area, head over to our mural. I'll post it on the Shelly Bell Show IG for you to check out. It is in Brookland. Over in the near the Arts Walk. As soon as you go over there, you're gonna see it. So it's fine. Takia hasn't even seen it yet. She on
You
it too.
better be out here flexing on me.
It's gonna be amazing.
Shake your shoulders.
Yeah,
Shake
she
your
better
shoulders.
be out here flexing.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. Follow us. See, we're not that. Follow us. We fun to work for.
Yes, we are.
Follow us on IG at The Shelly Bell Show. All right. Of course, we air these on YouTube. So you can look for those at youtube.com/I am Shelly Bell. But make sure you come to the IG and follow us and DM us and, ask us questions if you got them from today's show. This is The Shelly Bell Show. I am Shelly Omilade Bell, my co-host.
Takia Ross.
Sherelle Duncan.
We'll see y'all next time.
They talking business.
The Shelly
They
Bell
talking
Show.
business.